Good morning. This is Senior Pride, and today I'm going to discuss seniors or older people closing up versus broadening their horizons. So, think about the people you know as they get older. Do they kind of close in, decide that everything that everybody who does who's younger than them is kind of nasty and horrible, and it's not like when they were kids? And yes, those people really do exist, despite the fact that it is a stereotype that encompasses us all. There are some people that fit that stereotype, I'm afraid. I've met them and dealt with them, lived with them. But there's also people who open up, who learn, who constantly grow, because they see their older years as an opportunity to really expand on what they know. I get there's this stereotype that we're all like right-wing and we want money. Well, some of us don't have money, and even if we did, we still are empathetic and we understand people's rights and needs, and we're open-minded. So surprise, I'm a strong NDP supporter, New Democrat, both federally and provincially, especially provincially. Provincially, we have got to get the NDP back into power, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm pretty sure I just angered some very right-wing Albertans, not all of whom are my age, many of whom are much younger. So age can kind of be a determinant of attitude. If people get depressed and they feel unfulfilled, they'll close in. If they find ways to fulfill themselves, to learn, to grow, they will expand. I'm going to give a very simple example here. As my American friends know, Taylor Swift has given Donald Trump a swift kick. And for many of us who find Donald Trump abominable, just disgusting, that was awesome. So, I'm downloading Taylor Swift music. I want to hear what this woman sings about. I want to know who she is, because she's managed to rally many Americans to understand that this man is dangerous. Now, another example, Canadian example, is Pierre Poilievre. Probably a lot of people think all his voters are like 50 plus or 55 plus. Many of us want nothing to do with this guy because he's like Trump light. And if he gets into power, I guarantee women's rights will go down the tube in Canada. This guy makes some claims, some statements that are very disturbing. I may no longer be able to bear children. I'm the first one to say that. But I want women who are of childbearing age to have the right to control their own bodies, to know what they can do. We fought for that years ago. My mother's generation was out there marching. I don't want to see those rights taken away. And in both countries and many other countries around the world, those rights are being taken away. Slowly, we are being stripped of our basic womanhood. So for women my age, this is actually a huge deal, because this is something we fought for. I remember I was going on birth control, or wanted to go on birth control, because my menstrual periods were so bad. And my mother was trying to convince my biological father that this was an issue. And he was just, she'll have sex and she'll do this and she'll do that. The guy was a friggin' pervert, but hey, I would be bad if I was on birth control. Well, my mother finally managed to convince him. And at the time I was in Vermont, I was actually living in Vermont because I have very severe learning disabilities. And in Ontario at that time, there was no special education. So interestingly, the Ontario government would ship kids off to the States, to private schools where they could get an education. So I kind of lucked out by being born at that time. But he was just flipping like, we can't put her on this because she'll start being sexually active and everything. And, my mother was smart enough, wise enough to actually fight this battle. And fighting a battle with him took a lot of strength, I have to tell you. So one more thing to love my mama for. But this is the thing. We were the group that really fought for this. Our mother's generation, your grandma's generation fought for this. And we do not want to see those rights stripped away. And in that respect, we can close in and say, no, 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 they're all evil. They all do this, they all do that. Or we can say, isn't this great? I want to learn more. If you've ever met some of those closed-in people, and I'm sure you have, you notice that they're very depressed. They're very angry. So there's that feeling of being closed in, that feeling of not wanting to know what younger generations are truly doing, can both cause depression and be the result of depression. And depression is much more common in seniors, I think, than people realize. It's a problem. It's a huge problem. Because most antidepressants actually affect the chemicals in the brain that ultimately lead to confusion, that kind of brain fog you experience, and ultimately dementia, they're not the best treatment. I understand that doctors feel like they're the first course of treatment, but there's a lot of other things that you can do. And one of them is to encourage your senior or your older person to broaden their outlook. Slowly educate them gently. Get them outside. Let them actually experience what is going on in the world. So all this negative stuff they're getting on the news, they stop getting so much of that and start getting more of, hey, this is a really great world. Slowly, if they're not willing to use technology, and I find this really funny because we were, my age group certainly was the group that we learned DOS, we learned how to fix our own computers. We were like the computer generation. So I find it really kind of humorous that so many older people say, I can't handle technology. You got to be kidding. We had the hard stuff. The stuff today is like user-friendly. But slowly introduce them to technology. Show them what you can do on your smartphone. Show them what you can do with your Kindle or your other e-reader. Because one thing that you might find is that, I can get books down. I can get lots of books for a really low price, and I can enlarge the print, and I can get sound, and they may actually get quite excited. So if you're seeing someone whose horizons aren't broadened, if they fit that horrible stereotype, help them. Don't close off on them, because that's just going to make it worse. If you're meeting someone like me who is very open-minded, engage, recognize who this person is, their healthy mind, their strong heart. Talk, learn from them, teach them, back and forth. Get to know what each other's lives were like. You're going to find out all kinds of amazing stuff, like our mothers were in the Burn the Bra group. I'm a little young for that, but I was very much a teenage hippie, if you will. And I will admit, the bra came on later. and that we were, you think your grandma was like this sweet little woman who sat back and listened to music from the 1800s? It didn't work that way. We were the ones who were running around in short skirts and low-cut tops and no bras and dancing through the night and trying things out. You think you're the pot generation? Yeah. Grandma wasn't that good. Neither was Grandpa. So don't assume you know this generation, and don't assume if you meet someone who's closed that it's because they're just a mean old person. They're a boomer, and boomers are bad. Boomers are all kind of, just like you, they're all kinds of people. They run the gamut. So those stereotypes, they focus in on one person, but the fact is, we're just like you. Every one of us is an individual, and some of us love to learn. Now, I'm going to go download my Taylor Swift songs and enjoy. Thank you. Bye.